The Illuminati will see you, Stephen.
Oh shit! Wrong Illuminati. Cut to intro. Cut to intro.
All these haters that want it, homie, I keep it 100. Never front it while you stunning, acting like you hate it, but really want it.
What's up, YouTube? This is Green Bear, aka the Best Garb Boner, and today we're going to be talking about a certain scene in Multiverse of Madness that caught my attention in relation to Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four. Now, over the next week, I'm going to be putting out multiple videos talking about other things I noticed in this movie, as it was plumb full of teases for the future MCU films. So if you don't want to miss any of that, I'm going to need you to smack that like button like you're not intimidated by an Ultron bot, snap that subscribe button like you've got no time for Professor X's mind games, but you do have enough time to ring that bell. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Also, if it hasn't been made clear to you by the thumbnail or the description, we're deep into Spoilersville. So if you don't want this movie spoiled for you, then kick rocks. Shortly after being taken into the headquarters of Earth 838's Illuminati, the Earth 616 Strange that we all know and love is introduced to Reed Richards, played by none other than John Krasinski. Which, honestly, that alone had me bouncing in my movie theater seat with excitement. Mr. Fantastic is introduced as the smartest man on the planet and leader of the Fantastic Four.
Hello, Stephen.
And Dr. Strange replies, "Fantastic Four? Didn't you guys chart in the 60s?" And at this point, I almost shouted out loud in my movie theater. And let me tell you why. To explain, we have to look at a Q&A that Ant-Man director Peyton Reed had with Collider a couple years ago. In that interview, Reed talked about the pitch he made to Fox in the early 2000s. And this is long before the rendition of the first Fantastic movie came out. This is when Peyton Reed was the guy. He was set to direct the first Fantastic Four movie for Fox. And I quote, "I developed it for about a year, and we went through some different permutations and some different writers. But yes, one of the big ideas was a set in the 60s thing that at the time was structurally going to be basically like the Beatles' A Hard Day's Night movie, where we were not going to even deal with the origin story." Now, couple this with the recent news that John Watts, who directed all 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies for the MCU, was set to direct the MCU's version of Fantastic Four, but he's since left the project, pretty recently actually. And the fact that in the MCU, the details, even jokes like this one, are almost always having some kind of meaning, we may have just been teased the plot for the new Fantastic Four. And honestly, one that could work. My mind instantly went to the idea that maybe the 616 Fantastic Four originates in the 1960s. They undertake a top secret project as part of the space race, and they come into contact with that cosmic power that gave them all the abilities they have, but also get somehow warped into modern day. Now, maybe that's not correct. Maybe it's some other version of that where Hank Pym helps them get into the quantum realm, and that's where they get their powers. Either way, I don't care. The idea of this possibly being how we get the Fantastic Four in the MCU has me, frankly, just really excited, and I couldn't believe they just threw out a line like this in the movie. Maybe I'm totally overthinking this. Maybe I'm not, but you know what? I hope this is leading to something bigger. Because let's face it, this could make so much sense as a way to bring them into the current timeline. Because we now know that there's a version of every individual but America Chavez in every universe. Those are the rules established by Doctor Strange 2: Multiverse of Madness. And maybe, just maybe, in the 616 universe that we have now, they simply haven't been transported to our current timeline yet. Kind of like Captain America got frozen and then thawed out and brought into the current timeline, 10 or so years ago. Maybe we're waiting for that event to happen for our Fantastic Four. And, even though we've kind of had a film like the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Mans, where those in totality were his origin story, but not really, I don't want to skip it for Fantastic Four. If we could set it in the 60s, maybe not go into a crazy long detail of origin story, but just get some kind of one for the Fantastic Four, and let's just do it right this time with the MCU. Oh man, I'm excited. As for who may end up directing the new Fantastic Four, the fact that this line was put into the movie makes me wonder if Peyton Reed hasn't been in the running for a while now. There are a lot of people who want John Krasinski to not just return as Reed Richards, but also direct the movie too. But as of now, all that is hopes and dreams from fanboys. You know, there's no actual proof of that actually being an occurrence. And look, Peyton Reed's done a fantastic job with Ant-Man as far as I'm concerned. And I think he could do a good job with the Fantastic Four as well. He's got the chops. And, you know, Fox thought he had the chops at 1.2. Maybe in the direction of the MCU, he could do an even better job than what we would have gotten from a Fox movie with him. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this one line in this movie, and something that really stood out to me the most. That's why I led off with this video for this week. I got a bunch of ideas that I want to talk about in some videos coming up this week. I wanted to wait until Monday, and that's why I'm releasing this one now, because I didn't want to spoil anything for anybody, and I wanted to give everybody enough time to actually watch the movie before I started putting out some content on it. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This is kind of a short one, but also a long one for me. And especially if you watched the whole way through, thanks a lot. Like the video if you appreciated it, and subscribe if you're new. I'm out.